want it?
Yeah, I want it. I want it. Do you want it?
We really love you guys in a manly way.
The movies are coming today, well, you know what? That's not like a George problem to me. Yeah?
We about to get into the DyNasty. You know what I mean?
A lot of times I feel like I'm a thoroughbred horse.
Santa Monica, what the hell they got us in right now?
This is John Jeffcoat, and he works for Emergency Water Removal.
John is a catch-all. He does all the jobs that nobody else wants to do at emergency water removal.
John is really intelligent.
John's an idiot.
He's a full-time driver for me. He'll drive me around to my appointments.
Today, he's helping Miss Flory with a problem with her insurance. Miss Flory had a sewage backup about a year ago in her basement that affected the tile floor. Her insurance determined that the floor was not significantly affected, but willfully failed to acknowledge that the floor is made of disintegrating asbestos building materials.
They are definitely in the wrong. They sent a non-asbestos guy down there to give you a professional asbestos opinion.
He's gonna have her to send me the information about my personal law. A whole year.
A year later.
Year later, and nothing was said about it. But my case closed.
Yeah, that's what
All my stuff got to throw it out.
But that's not what this story is about.
John works really well with customers, but sometimes he follows directions and sometimes he tells them that we're going to repair their entire house for $500.
And that's the case for a little job in Tucker, Georgia. Upon initial inspection, John told the Simpsons that complete demolition and restoration of their bathrooms will be covered by their insurance company, and that emergency water removal will be more than happy to take the job. However, the Simpsons insurance company only found cause for a $1,500 payout, significantly below the $4,000 that emergency water removal needed for the job. Tim is furious. You see, at emergency water removal, if they say your job will be covered by insurance and it later turns out they were wrong in that assessment, they will still pay to complete the scope of the job that they originally said will be covered. And Tim has no problem sticking to this guarantee, but he's having doubts about sticking with John. So to save his friend and driver, George makes a bet with Tim. George bets that his guys at PCS can demo the bathrooms in Tucker quicker than Tim's guys can demo their job the same day, which is an old house in Decatur.
My guys are better than George's guys. George's guys know it. They're upset about it, but they just have to get over it.
The stakes? If Tim's team wins, George will pay Tim the $2,500 difference plus $500 more. If George's team wins, Tim will give George his previous car, a BMW convertible. Truth be told, George has been looking for an opportunity to get this car for a while.
That sounds good to me.
The next day, demolition begins. With his main man Pete out of town, George taps Omar and Pete's son Brian for the demo. The house is more than 30 years old, and its wire mesh tiling is proving to be a difficult destruction.
Whew. You see this? That's why I have one of those. Just messing around, not messing around, but got caught.
Yeah, y'all might as well go ahead and get suited and be ready. Cause y'all is finna to work.
Meanwhile, Tim's guys are also in for an unpleasant day as they suit up in protective head-to-toe Tyvek suits.
You probably won't get the bulk of the mess that we got, so.
Oh, yeah.
We threw down towels, curtains, and I shoveled a lot of the crap out.
Okay.
It was really bad and my mom kept gagging and throwing up. The line that we had was made out of terracotta and asbestos. It was from 1963.
The house's septic tank backed up into the house, affecting most major areas including the kitchen, living room, bathroom, and hallway. As a result, the house smells like a septic tank and it's filled with insects. The house's floor was built in the 1960s, and after a nice crap bath, it has no intention of coming up easy. After an hour and a half, backup arrives, even if they wish they hadn't. In Tucker, Brian finishes up the first bathroom, and Omar prepares to clean it.
This is worse than FEMA.
But there's still an entire bathroom to go. Back in Decatur, the guys are still struggling with the feces/waterlogged floor. But then Jamie pulls out the jackhammer and progress accelerates. But there's still some setbacks. The especially when an unnaturally thick wall starts eating saw blades. After lunch, George and his childhood friend Tom come to help Omar and Brian. The floor's concrete and plywood subfloor has been affected by Category 3 water and need to come up.
The problem was the subfloors. We had to completely take it completely out. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing. I couldn't, and I'll show you. See, there's a piece of wood. Oh, here. If you look at that right there, that's actually a moldy, I won't say it's black mold, but it is some type of mold. So I just couldn't leave that.
This is probably why our allergies have been bothering us so bad.
Yeah, so I just couldn't leave it in there.
After taking up the floor, a new subfloor is put down so the guys can tear out the old drywall.
Hey, we got a floor!
Unfortunately, George's celiac disease is acting up after a delicious pizza stuffed with wheat for lunch.
Damn, you stink, George.
What do you mean? I don't stink, my ass stinks.
Wait, clearing the room again.
Shit, man, Jesus. Dude. Come on, man.
What's wrong, Omar?
Crazy.
Meanwhile, the guys in Decatur have their own smells to deal with. After the stank in the hallway is combated, the guys clean up in the living room and start in the bathroom. But as George's guys are cleaning up in Tucker, Tim's guys are still having a hell of a time taking up that tile in the bathroom. The final score at the end of the day, George, car. Tim, minus $2,500 and a car. But the job's not done yet. The next day, Omar and Juan get started on the drywall. Then in the afternoon, Gabe comes in to do the tile. George arrives later in his new prize.
Yeah, because we need to get this floor laid and that floor laid. You think you can do it or no? Yeah. You got 5 more hours or 7.
I got it.
Then we're set. Okay, so we're planning on doing tile tomorrow.
You gotta put that shower in there.
I know, we're doing that now.
Oh, okay. We ain't gonna need it.
I know. Everybody.
I'm kidding.
You can only got 2 hands.
The next day, the floors are laid down and Pete is finally back in town to help put the finishing touches on the bathrooms. And after 2 days of reconstruction, the final product has emerged.
There's a drop in here anywhere. We're done here. Now comes the most important thing. Getting the sign off. How's that looking?
It's fine. All right.
Everything's work. You have no leaks. Everything's good. You can enjoy your shower tonight if you like.
Well, I'm gonna have to get some curtains.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Hey. There you go. I just need you to sign off for me. Maybe you're happy with everything. Everything's done.
Okay. So in the end, a disabled woman got an accessible bathroom, George got a car, and John still has a job. I guess everyone lived happily ever after.